bloody hell.
Hey!
What an idiot. We've got
Been
the
fishing.
world number 9 there. But we're just going to wait a second, and we're going to introduce a legend with only how he needs to be introduced with. So.
We are the champions, my friend.
Oh, Bobby!
Bobo! How are you, Bob?
Oh, yeah. They keep it all right.
Very well. Yes, I'm still alive, which is good, which is a
Oh, yeah.
bonus.
I don't know the other guy. Your name?
Nobody does.
Well, nobody knows me, no.
Is your name William?
It is, yeah, buddy. How you doing?
Where's the will, there's a way. Remember that?
Definitely.
I've been willing all my life.
Where's the will, there's a way. On the back.
Willie got his tour card in January, and he's only just started really playing at the top level. So hopefully you hear a lot about him in the future, Bobby.
Yeah, all right. Be nice. How old are you, young man?
23.
Speak up, I can't.
23.
23.
23. We need subtitles for Willie.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we're going to start.
Go on in.
Ian, how's the lockdown been?
It's been okay. Yeah, it's been okay. Done a lot of jobs around the house. Done all, the painting and, tidying the house up and stuff. All jobs that you wouldn't do when you're at darts. You don't get much time at home, do you? So been looking at my fish and doing all my plants and stuff. And, I've got a few tomatoes growing now. So I've been enjoying it, but, it's starting to get a bit of a pain now. I think we all want to get back to work.
That's right. And Willie, how you been finding lockdown? Same as Ian, just going a bit stir crazy?
Yeah, just obviously want to get back to playing. Obviously, got 4 weekends, and then I had to, obviously the coronavirus cancelled it all. So quicker we get back, the better. I'm getting bored of playing online darts. So yeah, just can't wait to get back.
And Bobby, what's it? Obviously, it's different for you because you've got 3 million acres to roam about in. I mean, how's lockdown been? How's lockdown been for you, Bobby? Back in George Towers or George Hall?
It's I don't do anything different in lockdown than I did when I wasn't in lockdown. In other words, if I'd done the darts and I had 2 days off, I'll be working on the land and doing the fisheries and trees and the pumps and all the different jobs on the land, and also in the house. So I've haven't been out for 16 weeks, but I don't go out when I'm home anyway. When I come home, I'm home. I don't go down the pub or anything like that. So I do all the jobs that I have to do, but because you've got more time, like Ian said, you do more. But I'm not fed up with it. I quite enjoy doing it.
Yeah, obviously you're in your 73rd year now on this earth, so you're still looking great for it as well, Bobby. Looking good. So glad to see you looking all healthy.
What are you after?
Hey, never know. I might need to do a cheap exhibition after this is all done. So
how many years I've been? 45 years playing darts.
Oh God,
for money for the old
that's a
people.
long time.
Spot on.
Have I played you, Ian? Haven't I?
I'm not sure whether we played against each other.
Sure, I did.
Might have done we didn't do an exhibition together, did we? We did at Stoke, but we didn't play each other.
Oh right,
No.
I did. Never mind.
So
what are we going to talk about, here, lads?
we're going to talk about darts. We're going to talk about your life. We're going to take some questions from all the people that are tuning in. First one, we've got Ian White. This is from New Generation Darts and Promotion. Have you took any gardening tips from Jabba?
No, he's gone mad, hasn't he, at the moment, Jabba? I think he's got potatoes growing, cucumbers. He's got everything. He's found a new hobby now instead of darts. The darts was supposed to have been his job, but I think he took it as an hobby. But he's doing well, Jabba. I keep in touch with him. I want him to come back. I do like the guy, but You know, it's at the end of the day, you know, we've all got to keeping our own draw cards, and it's a dog eat dog world, isn't it? In the darts.
Yeah, it is. I mean, how's he playing? Is he looking like he might go to Q school if there is one, or is he not bothered? Or
I think he will go Q school. I think everyone will end up going Q school. You know, I don't think there's anything else that they can not do. You know what I mean? They've got, I think a lot of the dart players now have got to go to Q school. So I think he'll be there.
Okay, we've got a question here from Nigel Porter. What is the best double to finish on? Please, we're going to start with you, Willie, because you don't hit many of them. So what's the best to finish on?
I like a double 16 finish. I like that side of the board, obviously, because if you miss a double 16, then you're right over to double 8. So you're not moving far on the board. So I'd say double 16.
Ian, you like a double 16, don't you?
I don't mind it, but I've been at a lot of tops and tens, so no. And at the end of the day, a winning double is the best one, isn't it?
Bobby, obviously you coined the saying "scoring for doubles for dough."
That's right.
Which is your favourite? Which is your favourite double, my man?
Any double at all on that dartboard is the same as just lives in different place. So I'm happy if I leave a double and I get a pop at it. It's better than saying, "Oh, I waste a dart to leave me double 16, or I do this for double 10." I'm just happy any double that does me, any double.
Darryl was on the double top for the UK Open after 12 darts and actually went 8 double 16. I mean, have you seen that when Yella was on?
It's a bit naughty to do that, really. You shouldn't be frightened of a double.
Yeah, I agree. But he says he just.
So if you like double top, you got to like double 10. And if you like double 10, you've got to like double 5. Otherwise, don't go that way. You've got to like confident in the double that you. When I played like double start, double finish, I play on the 14s because I can drop into the 11s, or I go on the 13s. I can drop, so I don't have to be so accurate. But when they play, you guys play double start, you go for tops because you want to be a pop star and see if you do a 9 dart. But it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Go the way you've got more chances to start. Once you're in, that double starting off it's worth 100 anyway. Put it that way. It's worth you're in the game, aren't you? Then because a lot of pressure on you guys now to hit that double to start. So
the Grand Prix are very
train them to go double 14 or 13s either side. You've got more chance. You can drop down and still get off. You're too accurate on tops. You got to be.
So you're saying. So you like tops?
Very accurate on threes as well.
So you like tops then, Bobby? Yeah.
Yeah, I like tops. I've won a few tournaments at tops. Yeah, but when I play like double start, I always go double 14 and just leave anything. It doesn't matter, you know. I never used to. Was going to frighten the doubles. I never had a favourite double. I was happy to hit anything. And
when Bobby had the red and white flights and they were like flat on the top, a lot of them he was going for double 18. Due to watch your games a long time, you know, when you were at the late side and when you done well, you had your bad back. And like a lot of them, you were leaving double 18.
Yeah, well,
probably because we were just floating in. Yeah. You know, not going for tops, you don't go as high.
You like double 18, you got to like double 9.
Yeah.
You know, Wayne Model used to hate double 9.
Earn that. So you like the 2 doubles. Otherwise, you miss. You're in 18, you think, oh no, I've got 2 9s. And you want your mummy, don't you? You know, you don't want to be confident in what you're doing.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I haven't played darts for ages, so I don't want my money for a while. But yeah, I know what you mean. Wayne Mardle used to hate double 9s, and his favourite double was double 18. So it was like Wayne Mardle, your mate, Mardle.
Well, if he don't like double 9s, so why go leave double 18?
Because he's a nutcase. But
we can't all be perfect, can we?
No. Well,
we can't all be perfect. Did say he was.
So, Bobby, we're actually going to start with you looking at your career. Obviously, 2-time runner-up in the World Championships in 80 and 94, obviously against Eric in that epic final, which probably changed darts. And in 94, when you beat Magnus Carris in that amazing semi-final, I think you were 4-2 down and went on to win 5-4. He missed a double 18 for a 1-4-1. And obviously losing the two finals was but your biggest achievement, which we're going to see now, is winning the News of the World. We've got a little bit of a clip here for the first time winning it.
7'9" and a quarter. They say, well, 3 inches don't make that much difference. You ask your wife.
And he has done it. 15 darts again. Championship stuff from Bobby George, and the News of the World crown is his.
I've got something they can't take away from me.
So obviously, Bobby, just explain to people back then that what the News of the World meant, because obviously people like Willie, myself, weren't really familiar with the News of the World. Just tell me what that meant at the time, you winning that, and what that made you as a darts player.
Well, the News of the World, but anyone that brought the News of the World paper, any country, could play in their tournament. So you could put your name down in your local pub or club anywhere in the world, and you can play all the way through and then qualify for the final, which is it's a difficult tournament to win. It was difficult. You couldn't take a chance. You had to be on the ball straight away. Toss of a coin, didn't go up the middle then. We tossed a coin. If you won the middle, then you got an advantage, I thought anyway. If you lost the toss, you got to beat him up first game. So it's a very difficult game to play. And it was, in my day, the one to win. It was the World. That was the one. Embassy came along just a couple of years, 78, and it wasn't recognised. 79, not really. And then 80, that was recognised. But the News of the World was going from 1929. So it got a lot of history, and it's 8 foot, which is different, and it's on an elm board. I know the PDC took it over 1 year, the last year they'd done it, but they didn't play on 8 foot. They played 7'9" on a normal board. There's a lot of difference. The trebles and the doubles are tiny on the elm boards. So tiny they are. And you've got to be accurate, and you've got to be on your toes all the time. But when I hit that double, I knew I got a few quid out of it because I had a lot of sponsorship through the breweries. So, and it made me, because the publicity they give you on the television, all the papers, the News of the World and the Sun and all them, they write about it. So you become a household name. So it was great, the News of the World for me. But
so obviously
talking about that, this is a bit of history. I'll just move the gear off my bar a minute. Now, I've got a trophy here, right? Now, I didn't mean to say this tonight. This is the News of the World trophy, 1929. The guy that won it in 1929, and I brought the trophy. He's passed away now. But that's a lot of history. And I've got all the paperwork, all the rounds he played in, the Dukes he played for in Surrey, all the people he beat, how many people went in it. It's quite interesting. So that's a bit of history there. So I brought that for the history, for darts.
Definitely. Do you want to auction that off at any point? I'd be interested in.
No, I'm not like you. I'm going to put it in a frame with the bloke's name and all the history with it, because it's history of darts, isn't it? It was the first major tournament in the world, and it went for, 60 or 70 years, a long while. So,
Ian actually played in the last one. He got to the final, losing to Phil Taylor. Ian, is that right? Was that long there?
You played the Mickey Mouse son.
Exactly. Everyone goes on about it, being the last one that we played in. And like Bobby said, we threw at 7'9" and a quarter, and then we played on the normal board. So, but it was nice for me because, like I said, I think in the early rounds in the pub, I could have gone out. It was only best of 3 all the way through. And then when you get there, it's just brilliant. The finals. You got your set of silver darts to say that you got to the finals. Like I said, I got to the final and really enjoyed it. And it was just taking a chance at the time. With the best of 3. Many times I think I went 1-0 down. And I come back, but it was a hard tournament to play in. That was.
I was lucky. The year I won it, the first year, I never dropped a leg all the way through.
Wow.
So, and I remember Johnny Ross used to run the News of the World then. He was a great old dart player, Johnny Ross was. He said to me, you haven't dropped a leg and you're in the final game now. But I'll give you one, I'll tell you what to do. You can drop one leg now, he said, but don't drop two. That's what he said to me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about any. And I didn't.
Yeah.
Alan was a great player, Alan Glazier, I played. He was a good dart player. He was no mug. It was just my day. And then darts is on the day, really. You know that, Ian. When you play well, a guy can miss and you go out. It's on the day. You got to have a little bit of luck. You got to have a little bird on your shoulder.
Well, that's what I keep telling everyone. You know, when you're playing these tournaments, you know, if you don't get the luck, you know, a lot of people go on about me on stage. But you look at some of them games. You know, I haven't had the luck in that. You know, Devin Peterson played brilliant. I played a good game against you, William, didn't we? You know, on the Pro Tour.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was just you just got to have the luck at the time that sometimes they do miss a double. You know, and people say, "Oh no, you make your own luck." No, hang on, you need a bit yourself.
You do. You need a bit of luck, but the more hockeys you tread, the better luck you got.
Yeah.
The more hockeys you tread, you know.
In 2018, Ryan Searle missed 3 darts to knock Darrell out, and then Darrell went on to win this lovely little trophy as well.
Correct.
So you need a lot of luck. So
thanks, Ryan.
Thanks to Ryan Searle if you're watching. Cheers, Ryan.
I think the News of the World give the normal guy in the street in them days a chance to be someone in darts.
Yeah.
Give you a chance to, if people recognise you, they followed you, they wanted you in the pub. It was a big thing, the News of the World. It was. And it was a great trophy. I mean, I got to the finals 5, 6 times, something like that I did. I won it twice, but I always thought I would have won it 3 times, but I wasn't good enough on the other days. I wasn't lucky enough to do it.
You've got the third one in your living room.
Second one, that's the second. I would like the first trophy, but I couldn't you never find it. But it's history, you know. You've got a lot of history in the News of the World.
Yeah.
And a short
Bobby,
sorry.
So I was just going to say, just touching on from the '94 final, and everything, the split had happened. Do you have any regrets about not joining the PDC? We've got a question from Kel Sophie.
No, you know why I haven't got any regrets? Because no one asked me.
Really?
No one asked me. No one said. I mean, I was out of darts for 5 years, top darts, as such, top darts, you know, tournaments and that. I was just doing exhibitions for a brewery, and I didn't worry about tournaments. So I wasn't really bothered about getting on the television or. I was earning good money and I was enjoying what I'm doing. And I thought, well, I'll go into the embassy, see if I can qualify. 2 little bubbers. And they said, well, try that. So I said, all right. So I went in and I qualified. But no one asked me at the time. There was all that 93, I qualified for 94 at the end of that year anyway. But there was all there, the trainer all watching me. But no one said, oh, we're going to, why don't you join the PDC? It wasn't called the PDC then, I don't think, was it? It was a
WDC, wasn't it?
Hey?
Yeah.
Something different.
WDC, the World Darts Council.
That's
the Tomlin orders, you call it.
Having a pint in the players' room, and Phil Taylor was on my right, and his dad was on my left, believe it or not. And they come around with this sort of like paper, like scroll paper, and he signed it. So I said, what's that, Phil? He said, oh no, he said, we're starting up a dance union. I said, oh, that's all I knew. I didn't know nothing about it. And then the following year, they're saying, we're starting up. A few people, not everyone, but there's a few of them were saying, well, we're not pub players. Now, that's one thing they can say, because the pub players make a living. And I didn't like that. I said, well, I think you're out of order to say that. And then they started saying, oh, he's anti-PDC, or DC, whatever it was. I wasn't. I was just saying what I thought they shouldn't have said. You understand what I was getting at? They shouldn't have said that only pub players. Well, we're all only pub players, but we got lucky with the double occasion.
It was only a hobby, wasn't it? At the end of the day, it was only a hobby. It was only a hobby.
Yeah.
We all went out to play darts as a hobby, you know.
Yeah. Well, I went out. I didn't even know I could throw darts, but I thought it was a funny game, if you want the truth, Ian. You know, I was watching him in a pub and hit a dog. God, well done, Joe. Yeah, what you drinking? Buy him a pint, pat him on the back. I thought, what's that all about? And then I played, and I thought, what a lovely game this is. They're all finding people.
Yeah.
But I wasn't interested in it. I probably wouldn't have joined the P. I didn't have to. I wasn't in that situation. I didn't. I mean, when they done the Sky one at the Palms Hotel. They used to stay, the first one, and I went there and done an interview with Sybil Dell and a few of the players. There was no aggravation. I didn't have no aggro. But when they started writing in the darts world and saying things, I just give it back to them in the nicest possible way I could. And they don't like it. They don't like it back at them. You with me? It's all right saying something, but back at them. But I done it for a crack, for the fun, and they took it personal. But I work with PDC. I don't work with BDO players now. I always work with Jason, say, Matt, and I don't really work with BDO players. But we're all BDO. We all started there. We was all lucky to have the chance to play in that system. It's not as good as it was. It was great then, but not now. But it taught you like the county. I used to like the counties and the England games. That was great. But it's a shame it's gone down to Swanee, but it's definitely gone down to Swanee. So, but you know, it's gone. You know, it's just they say it's a poor man's game like that. And if you play in that sort of, it is a poor man's game. You know, you guys play to get paid to play. That's what I do now. I play to play. They have to pay me to play. See, I've got on or gold because I'm not getting paid. See, when I dress up, so they're getting some value for their money.
I've seen the size of your garden, Bobby. You definitely do get paid.
Yeah, well, but nothing's for nothing. Remember that. Nothing's for nothing. You don't give it here. You have to earn it. And and when you earn it, you got to look after it. Can't start getting a brand new car and then don't like it. I've got another one, and you know that because I say to a lot of players, you think it's never going to end, but it could, and it hurts them if they're. I mean, and he's more of a. He's always not a youngster now, but more sensible. But the young kid earning a lot of money, he'd go to his head a bit. He could, and then he ain't got nothing. Save your money. You know, you only have one car because you can only drive one car at a time, can't you? So
well, the thing about snooker, one of the greatest players ever, Alex Higgins, and died without much to his name at all. So it just shows you that it doesn't matter how much you earn; it's what you do with it, isn't it? You know, you've got to invest it properly.
Yeah, he was a great player, wasn't he? Higgins, good to watch. Always upsetting someone, but I should like him as it happens. But he had nothing in the end. But you know, can't take it with you. I know, but I'm trying.
So we're just going to move on to the. We've talked to Bobby about the past star, so we're going to move on to somebody who's very much in the present, and that's Ian White. I think you were ranked about 9th when we finished, Ian.
9 or 10. I think it's the longest I've been in the top 10.
You've won 11 Pro Tours and 3. Show one of them wins now. Last year against Peter Wright in Germany, which was a great win, coming back from 7-6 to win 8-7.
Maybe that's enough. Maybe it's enough. But maybe not, because the diamond does not miss this time. He wins it. 3rd time lucky for the diamond. He's a 2-time Euro Tour winner. Peter Wright might well be back, but Ian White has done it on the big stage again, and once more proves his doubters wrong.
So winning on the big stage again, the 3rd time. Obviously, a criticism that you come in for, Ian, and whether it's justified or not, we'll talk about, is you don't do enough on TV. I probably agree with the fact that you don't, because you're that good, and I watch you week in, week out, battering on my players usually. in my opinion, you should have probably got to a final on TV. I mean, do you share that? Am I being harsh on you, or do you think maybe you probably should have been on TV, been onto a final on TV?
Yeah, that if you look at all them top lads that are around me, your Chisnells, your Darrell Gurneys, all them in the top 10, they're all getting to finals. I'm staying up there by winning me money on the Pro Tour, because I win quite a few on the Pro Tour. I'm quite steady on the floor. And yeah, when I've got to one semi-final, haven't I? Hopefully now we can go a bit further. But yeah, it's just like Bobby said earlier on, it's the luck. And I think if you look at some of the tournaments, I think I played Rob Cross in the match play the first time he come across. And that year was just unbelievable for him. One year I played Menson at the match play. I think he beat me 10-something, and it was like 6 of them were on the bull. And it just wasn't going for me.
That was the Grand Prix, and that was.
Was that a Grand Prix? Or Devon Peterson? You look at Devon Peterson in the World. I was playing well against Devon, and all of a sudden he stepped up, and it was 100 odd average for the last 2 sets or something. I was like, where's that come from? He hasn't done it all year, and and I like Devon, but he hadn't done it all year, and he just done it on that day. And like Bobby says, it's what you do on the day, and I just don't think I've had a lot of luck on it. And it'll be there, my form's good. You look at me this year, I'm probably one of the best on the floor, and top 3 of the year, before we went into lockdown. So fingers crossed we can keep going. We're doing well, we're playing well, practicing well, so let's see what happens, and just need to get back practicing with Michael Smith again now. Hopefully getting that bubble where we're allowed to go and practice.
What do you say to these people who not necessarily, not the nasty idiots on social media that don't know anything, but like the people who say sometimes you may bottle it? I don't agree with that. I just think that you do have a bit of bad luck, but there's one game like at the match play when you should have beat something, and I've seen Dowd 14-7 and lose 17-15, and people say bottled it, and I don't believe that. I just think that just little bits didn't go his way. I mean, which has been your biggest disappointing quarterfinals? You've got to lots of quarterfinals, and I think I know which one it is. But which is your biggest disappointment on the TV, where you thought, yeah, I probably could have won that week if I'd have just got over that game?
You're thinking of the UK Open when I played Gary Price. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like we were talking about luck. I'm sitting on a double. I threw it double 10, and all of a sudden, I've hit double 15, and he's gone and took 160 out to win the match. It's just a look at the time, and Gary Price has done well at the moment. He's won quite a few tournaments, but at the time, I just thought, it was my weekend, and obviously it wasn't with them 3 darts. You'd never think anyone had. If I had another shot, I don't think anyone would have took 160 out. I don't think they would do it. Just at that day, he took the 160 out. I was gutted. The whole crowd just cheered, and I just wanted the stage, to swallow me up. I was just so gutted that weekend.
Last year, 3 back-to-back Euro Tour finals, winning 2 of them, beating the world number 1 and world number 2. So that shows you what you can do. And people who don't know, these Euro Tours are basically majors anyway, just without the high definition cameras. Probably, they've got 4,000 people in attendance. You get the walk on, you've got the dancers, you've got everything, you've got the big trophy presentation. So, but getting to 3 of those the back end of last year, and obviously there's a game with the Oza in one of them that you won where it was like 6-5, where you both averaged 110 or something stupid. I mean, that must give you a lot of encouragement for TV events, because that is, in essence, a TV event.
Well, I kept saying all year, when I got to them 2 finals and won them, well, I got to 4 on the bounce, didn't I? Lost 2 and then won the next 2. But I could have gone out them first rounds on them 2 that I won. I think Dimitri should have beat me in 1 and someone else. But I got the luck and got through and went on and won it. But I kept saying to myself that year that if you don't win a major, win 4 of them. 4 of them will count as £100,000 on your rankings. So I wanted to do well in the Europeans, and I was quite happy with what I did last year, and now we've got to do better now. Yeah,
I think as well you've been overlooked for the World Series, which I don't, it's difficult with what you've done and what you've won. That's probably where you have, like you've just said, for the Euro Tours for one major, but the one major gets you so much more recognition with the PDC and worldwide coverage. So the money side, yeah, it does look good on your rankings. It looks exactly the same as winning 100 grand, but that's where if you could get to your finals and you win, you're going to be in the top 4, and that's where you'll probably be pushing yourself onto the World Series. So is that your target, to get on those and sort of two things up to people and say, look, I'm to be playing with you guys?
Well, it is. You look at the Premier League and stuff like that. There's a lot of people said that it should have been in the Premier League a few years ago. Listen, I can understand the way the PDC pick things, and I'm not saying it's right, or I'm not saying it's wrong, but they promote it with younger kids, and with the older generation, and I don't jump down the stage. I get on with it like I want to, and it's the way I've been brought up. When I was playing my local leagues, always respected the guy that you played, and I still do that. And people are saying that you can't do that anymore. They want you to get up there and beat each other up, and I don't know. I disagree with a lot of stuff, but I just get up and play darts, you see, and people don't like that.
So what's your targets when you come back here? And what's obviously you won the last Pro Tour. You beat Willie. So I mean, we're going to go on to Willie in a second. I mean, if do you want to say a few words about your game? Because I know it was good. Obviously, Willie's sort of looking up there like he's a competition winner. He's not said a lot tonight.
Who's he with? Is he with you? Is he? But yeah, we had a good game that weekend. I came off. I felt as if I've been in a boxing ring with him, and beat each other up. When he came off, my energy was just so low. I had to build it up quick again, because the way we played, I think it was 12 darts, 13s, 12, and you just weren't breaking each other. And then all of a sudden I broke him and then held me throw, and that just got me through. And Willie was a good player, and it was nice to win that last one, because when we went into lockdown, the money comes in well, so I've been quite well. And it's like Bobby said, you've got to put your money away, you've got to look after it. And these young kids at the moment, they'll win a couple of grand, and we've never seen that. I was on £26 a week. Bobby was on threepence or whatever it was years ago, He was on shillings and stuff. But what I'm saying is, you've got to look after your money, and it's not hurt me this, lockdown. I haven't even touched most of my money that I put away. I've just been living off sponsorship money and stuff like that. So, I think you have to watch what you're doing, Willie, and just put everything away, look after it, because it's a long haul, and Bobby will tell you that.
Definitely. Most definitely. As I said, the game was good. Obviously, it was a break that kind of killed me, because obviously we were banging each other with 180s all the time. And then obviously when you broke the throw, I was like, oh no, I need to try and re-break you. Then I think it was a 12 darter you went to beat me with 6-4. But I know a great game. It was the same. I played Chris Dobie on the Saturday, and I had 100 average, and he beat me 6-1. He took 5 turn plus checkouts against me, and I'm like, oh no.
It's getting hard now. 100 average is nothing now.
Definitely. Yeah, it's, tough skill, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Good.
We're going to talk to Willie a bit on his early career. Then we're going to take some more questions. But we've got some highlights of Willie's TV career as well.
If you're interested in plants, you'd be better off with Goshawk's Guide to Herbology. Do you know there's a wizard in Nepal who's growing gravity-resistant trees?
Neville, no offence, but I really don't care about plants.
Sorry, that's not it. Hold on, I found it right there.
9, makes a mess of it. 43 left. Well, fair enough. That's a moment where you could regret, unless this goes in double top. He loves double top. He's been brilliant on double top. He's been brilliant in the match all round.
So that was the 2018 World Trophy. That was the BDO event against Conan Whitehead, and that was your first TV appearance, I think. And you won 6-1. So, I mean, talk us about that, and then obviously your 2 attempts at Q School, and this time getting through.
Well, obviously, I went to the Welsh Open through the BDO with all my family, and they do the BDO World Trophy qualifiers. I wasn't even going to enter, But obviously, because I was down there the full week I just entered, I was a tad on the rough side, and I scraped through the first couple of games. But when I came through, when this day started getting on, I came on, and I think it was Dave Paraletti, then Matt Paget, and then David Pallett to qualify. So the last 3 games were probably the toughest games, but I was glad to come through. And then obviously to play Conan, I think going 3-1 up on Conan, he wasn't expecting it, and I think he tried a bit too hard. But obviously I knew that he never played to his top potential. But I was just glad to get the win there. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience for the first time. So hopefully get more TV events soon.
Your second attempt at Q School, you end up getting a card. Obviously, Bobby or Ian's never experienced Q School. So just explain to everybody at home and to Bobby as well. Educate Bobby. It's about the only time you'll be able to educate Bobby like you do. So just talk through the process of going to Q School, what it entails, what it's like, and how you get points and how you.
Well, Q School is probably the hardest tournament I'll ever play in, because there's 400 plus guys wanting 20 cards, and obviously they're all there to obviously get cards and stuff. But obviously, I had a couple of games during the week where I had high 90 averages, but just kept missing doubles, and it can get to you, because obviously if you don't make any points in the first couple of days, you try that bit extra because you want the card so bad. But yeah, no, it's definitely the hardest tournament that I've ever played in, and I'm glad that I was lucky enough to come through it and get on the tour.
Yeah, sorry, a bit of a technical difficulty there. And obviously, your first few weeks on the tour, you've won a few games. What's your hopes and aims? Obviously, before lockdown, what would you like to have happened in an ideal world? What would you want to happen in the next 2 years?
Well, hopefully, I want to try and keep my card in the next 2 years. Obviously, I wasn't expecting too many big things to happen. Obviously, because I've still got a lot of learning to do. I'm still young, but I'm loving it. I'm playing well. As I said, I played Michael Van Gouwen the third tournament, and I was just I was happy to even take 4 legs off him. But I'm not expecting too many big things. But I'm just taking it as it comes and just enjoying the 2 years. And hopefully I get to keep my card.
Not expecting big things. I've got a baby I need paying for. You need to be in the top 3.
I thought you were for a beard. I mean, you know. Ambition, I thought you were saying to make a great beard.
Can't understand the word he's saying, but it sounded good, Willie. It sounded good.
You said it was ambition. I thought he was going to say,
yeah.
Any. He's ambitious in everything.
Yeah, that's what he said. Win it all. Van Gogh was world master at your age. Come on. Get the big money in.
I'll keep trying.
Yeah, keep trying. Bobby, Johnny Bryan has asked, what do you think of John Lowe? And have you got any jokes?
Oh, John, well, me and John never really got on very well. He was sort of like, he didn't like the music. I started the walk on. He didn't like the razzmatazz. He said it was bad for the game. So anyway, if I listened to him, the game wouldn't be as it is today, would they? It's the walk on, the razzmatazz. It's theatrical. It makes the show. But no, I didn't ever see eye to eye with John Lowe. Not so bad now, because probably older, but he doesn't like me because he's my age, but I'm better looking than him. That's his problem. That's why he doesn't like me.
There's a story about John going to look in a shop window.
Oh no! I was to say that John knows the tightest man I've ever met. He loves shopping, but he goes on a Sunday when the shops are closed, so he doesn't spend his money. And the only shop open was a butcher's, and he's looking in the window of the butcher's, and he said to his wife Karen, "Look at that!" He said, "Look at that sheep shed in the window." He talks like that, see, ladies. She says, "Not a sheep." He said, "It's a sheep shed." "I know a sheep shed when I see one." So he said, we'll go in and ask the butcher. He said, excuse me, butcher, is that a sheep's head in the window? He said, no, sir, it's a mirror. And he didn't go along with the joke. he didn't like that one. Oh, dear. But he could say, it's a joke. He could say, it don't hurt, does it, anyway?
Nah.
But I'll give Ian, you're quite a guy, but you like a joke and have a giggle. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Oh, I love entertaining and having a laugh with people, as you've seen in the lockdown. You know, I've done a few daft things. So, yeah, it's a bit of fun.
A bit of fun, but we can't all get on. But, I mean, Eric used to say to me, he said, I don't like him, Eric used to say. I said, well, Eric, why don't, he said, but you don't have to like anyone to work with them. That's what he used to say. No. That's true. So if you're working with them, you don't like them, just work with them and get the money, innit? You know?
I hate them all, mate. I just as long as them invoices keep getting paid, I ain't bothered. I hate them all. Jamie Hughes, Benito,
one leg of darts with Matt, one leg I throw, a leg with Bobby, you know? And I'll do a chat. And he went, it's good, isn't it? One leg. I said, yeah, it took me 45 years to get to that status. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Michael Van Green calls me Grandad, right? He said, Grandad, I had been thinking. I said, what's that? You earn more money per dart than me. Because he plays all night. I play one leg, don't I?
we had a good night in Skegness, didn't we?
Sorry?
We had a good night in Skegness.
Yeah, it's good. You know, I enjoy it. They're a good crowd and all in Skegness, weren't they? Good. Yeah, when you're doing a question and answer, they're quiet, and you wouldn't think they get all that many people to be quiet, but they are. You know, it's nice. I enjoy it. That's why I like doing it. I enjoy what I do. You know, I couldn't see them today. I'd just go nuts. I'd be like a dried up donut with no jam in it if I stayed in all day. I look like Ted Hankey on a Good Morning.
Hey, do you think Ted Hankey gets up in the mirror and just goes, one more, just one more bullet? It's like down to his pants. Just one more, get away with it.
Yeah, mad, isn't he? One more, he's on the slot, isn't he? He's going to get on the dartboard, I'll tell you.
Yeah. We've got a question for Willie Borland here, saying, when are you going to get a decent walk-on song? And that's Ryan Ronaldson.
Well, you can ask Matt that question because he picked it.
I'll pick Quick, Radio Gaga. That's great. It's a great song.
You know what, William? You know what I would have picked? Help by the Beatles.
Sending the Clowns.
That's what you want. Help by the Beatles. Everyone knows the words, you see. You got to pick a song that Lady Gaga, whatever she is. I don't even know her. She sat next to me. I wouldn't know her. But I know John Lennon.
The few times Willie's been on the Euro tour, his walk-ons lasted longer than his match because it's been that quick.
Oh, great.
What's my walk-on? Mine's 4 minutes. Isn't it, my walk-on? The first walk-on I done, I said to this cameraman, Bob Wilson, his name was, I said, it's a bit boring. It'd be all right if we had a bit of music. He said, yeah, you want like some music to come on to. I said, well, you probably have to ask the Beeb if they let me do it. And they went, yeah. And the BDO said, yeah. So I came on, believe it or not, my first song, music was You Want to Be in My Game by Gary Glitter, right? Which is great. It was a great song. It was a great, want to be in my game, my game. Whoa, that's great. And then, of course, you got a naughty boy. So now I changed it, We Are the Champions. But I put We Are. I ain't. We Are. So you're telling the story to everyone in the song. Like, William, if you had Help by the Beatles, you can say, if you listen to the words, they get what he's meaning. He wants help, not back him, cheer for him. So it's something you've got to think of the walk-on to help you. You know,
definitely.
I listen to Matt Ward. He's boring.
Yes, definitely. His song choice is terrible.
I picked Dal Gurney's Caroline, so.
What you say?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I picked Daryl's Sweet Caroline.
That's great. I like that because I like that record. I think it's really good. That's a really good record to sing with. Yeah, I like it. It's a good one.
Yeah, but Daryl doesn't know it.
Hey?
Daryl doesn't know it.
Daryl knows it. It's a good one, though. It's a good record. Yeah.
What about just
some
can't
of the
get
records?
enough?
I think they're right boring.
Definitely not. That's a no-go. That one.
You want something that people can sing to, like Sweet Caroline. They know the words, all that. We're the champions, you know. Helped by the Beatles. Anything like they know, they sing along, and they're young men. So think of a proper walk-on, not all that them punk rocket gear. No one knows them. Something that they everyone knows, and then they.
There's many times I've been on stage and I'm playing Vincent van der Voort and he's not even there.
Vincent van der Voort. Oh, Vincent. What's his music? Vincent. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Vincent.
Vincent van der Voort, Vincent van der Voort. Yeah.
He's a nice guy to talk to. He's funny. He's
very
good. He's very witty, isn't he? He's Dutch, but he's got humour. He's very good. Yeah.
Ian, somebody's just texted in here. Why do you think yours and Yozza games are always world class? That's from Darryl Farmer.
You know, it's me and Yozza always play well. You know, if you've seen the games, you know they've been good games with us. You know, he's wanting to win, and I'm just wanting to take money out of Matt's pocket. You know, so you know, I just I just want to. I just want to keep winning. You know. Hey. Oh yeah, he beat me in that one, didn't he? You were panicking again. Did you text me before the game again, Matt? Did you text me before that as well?
You prick.
But nah, we have a bit of banter. With you, don't know, Matt. You know, so it's you know, but always good games. You know, but yours is a good player. You know, even you know people coming over, Glenn Durant. You know, they come over. Everyone's saying how good he's done and all that. 3-time world champion, for God's sake. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's no mug. You know, so all this hype over it, to me, it's just like, get on with it, because at the end of the day, he's a good player. He's a top player.
There's one thing that stops Jamie, and when it happens, nothing will stop him. I don't quite think he knows how good he is yet. I think he sort of like doubts himself a little bit. Because I know how good he is, and I've told him he's one of the, when I've seen him practice in some of the games, is amazing. But just think he's missing that 5%, which he'll get, and I think Durant's got that from winning the Lakeside 3 times, and he's took that confidence over to the PDC. So I think Glenn's a couple of years, 3-4 years in front of him, but Jamie's 20 years in age. So hopefully Jamie can start believing himself and climb the rankings. I believe he's a good player. I believe he's a great player.
Yeah, he's a top player. You know, we always get on, we always chat and everything. He's a top player, but like you said, it's a dog-eat-dog world, isn't it, Matt? You know, so at the end of the day, you all beat each other up.
Here's another question for you, Elias Wilhelm. Question for Ian. The time without tournaments has been very long. How did you stay competitive, and how well do you see your form for the upcoming summer series?
Well, it's hard, you know, having to practice on your own. You've been, you know, practicing for the last God knows how many years with Michael Smith, Adrian Lewis before then. So you've always got the competitive with people. But when you're on your own, you do get a bit fed up on that dartboard, just throwing at it, playing against the computer, playing finishing. You know, I'm more type, I'd like to have someone else there and have a game with me. So, you know, I've kept my eye in. I've been playing well. You know, I've been hitting the 100 averages on against the computer. I've had it quite high up. It's been beating me quite a few times, but hey ho. But you know, we just got to keep going, and hopefully, when we do kick in, you know, the form will be there. You know, I'm playing well enough. I just wanted to, you know, to carry on the way I left off, because, you know, where I was left off and I won the tournament, you know, a few days before that was 100 and odd averages every game, you know, so I think it was a German guy beat me with 129 average, and then Max Opp, you know, he beat me 120 odd average, and I had 100 and something, and it's like, wow, what a game that was. But you know, it's just the way darts is at the moment. You know, we used to think, you know, your best 5 was a long format. Now we're playing best of 11, and we think it's short. We want longer, you know. But you know, you playing that News of the World, like we said at the beginning, best of 3 is a nightmare.
So I mean, thanks for that, Ian. We're getting loads of questions for you, Bobby, as well. Obviously, being a legend. Someone's messaged in and says, "Can you tell us an Eric Bristow story?" I mean, I know Eric 15, 20 years. I wouldn't say we're best mates. I thought he was different company. You know, I liked his company some days, and other days I thought he was an arsehole. But obviously, he was a character that polarised people's opinions. Obviously, you spent the time. You and him changed the game forever in 1980. Have you got a story about Eric Bristow for people watching? Talk about Eric.
I do a lot of tournaments. Me and Eric used to play pairs before we were sort of like pop stars as such, and he used to play for money racing. And he phoned me up and he said, "Bobo," he said, "I've got a money racer for 300 quid." I said, "Oh, where's that?" He said, "Like Loughton, the Mother Hubbard in Loughton. You should pick us up. You come along." I went, "Yeah, all right, I'll pick you up." So we get there, and I never forget the bloke's name. His name was Bob Wood. He played, and he played best of 5, 3001, right, for 300 quid, and he beat Eric. And it was packed. This pub was rammed. It had like a social sort of room at the back. They'd done weddings there. And it was rammed. And Eric said, "You better pay him." I said, "What do you mean pay him? I picked you up. You didn't say bring the money with me." He said, "I ain't got it. I thought I beat him." Well, I thought we're gonna get done over here. So Eric wound him up. When I played the big fella, come on, you just got lucky. And that, but when, yeah, okay. Anyway, it was 2-2, and I'm playing the third game, and this guy was, because he's already had a game with Eric. He's really proper warmed up, and I was playing pretty good at that time. So, but it was a bit dodgy, the game. He was getting at the last leg. He was like just putting in front of me. I thought, you know, I've got to keep in front of this guy, because I've got to have a shot at doing, because we ain't got the money. So I leant over. I said, "Eric, there's the keys. Get the car and bring it around that door," he said. I said to him, "And if it's a double, I jump straight in, you pull away." He didn't say nothing, and he pulled me. I went to front, he pulled me, but he said, "Bob, I can't drive." God, did I play well the last 600 points. Well, 180, 140, boom, out. Now, we're sweating, all that pressure, doing that, and that's how you learn the game. That's how we learned. Me and Eric learned by money racing and playing people for money. Put your money where your mouth is. But to do what he done was dodgy. He thought, he never heard of this bloke, Bob Wood. He can't be all that. And he was a very good dart player. So we got away with that one. But there's loads of stories I can tell you. I mean, some of these, I mean, we played the North American Open triples, or I think it was the triples. And because they just cheat a bit on the cards in North American Open. They didn't do a bracket system. They had so many, to say there's 500 people there, 250 there, 250 there. Whoever's called out took a card off the top, put them together, and they called the names out like that. And Eric said, "Look, and then we're all playing each other, getting rid of the Brits like." Anyway, we got to the final. Me, Eric, I think it was Leighton. Eric said, "Look," he said, "what I'm going to do, I'm going to play on balls and 25s." He said, "Show them up." I said, "Look, he just hit the scores." He said, "No, you hit the scores. I'm playing on balls and 25s." Leighton was disgusted. And I placed it. He did, and I'll give his shoe. He hit 25 ball, and he'd give his arm up. Oh, he done him up like a kipper in the final. But he did trap it off a lot, but he was two sides with Eric. He was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He was a nice bloke until 11 o'clock come at night, and he was a complete nuisance when he had a beer. But I'd done a lot of darting with him, and I'd done a lot of tournaments with him, and we had a lot of fun. So they were the good days. And it wasn't fun that night, mind you. Sweating, oh dear, get a rig kicked in, money. You play darts then, that's the difference. And you learn. And then the big time come as such, television, and you're going in tournaments, and you got all it's great. What a great sport, especially a young guy who wants to come into it. Got to dedicate yourself and enjoy it, though. You must enjoy it. That's the problem. I think it's a bit serious. I don't think I couldn't go into your system because they'd fire me all the time. I think they were chucking me out. They'd fire me. It's quiet, and it's just different system, completely different. It's more serious. Well, there's a lot of money in it, I know, but I think it's too serious. Personally, myself, I couldn't do it. They say up the middle, quiet, please. I fart, no, my luck. You know what I mean? Get fined.
Well, that's right. I think that's why like there's a few times at the end of a tournament, if I've got to a final and I've lost or whatever, I've had a bit of banter when I walked on with the carrier bag, or I come on with the bin shouting any empties, or messing around. Because at the end of the day, we still got to have a laugh. We still got to have a bit of fun. And I think it is serious because of the money. And I think the earlier rounds are the ones that are harder because people are going, and if you win one game, they're happy. We're not. We want to be winning the tournament.
Yeah, cool.
So they're the hard ones to win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I say you met Eric, obviously. You have, but he was some guy. I'll say that for him. He didn't care what he said. I said embarrassing sometimes he was, but that was Eric. Yeah, accepting what he was like. And one thing I'll say about him, he wasn't tight. Eric was never tight. He was quite good-eyed. That's one good thing about him. The rest of him I couldn't stand, but he wasn't tight. Eyed. Everything.
I was actually there in Liverpool the night he died because it was at the Premier League, and I've seen him an hour before.
I was there, wasn't I, with him? I'd done the shooter's bar.
Oh yeah, but he went to do the
he went
VR.
I'll get him a Guinness, and I'll see you later, Bo. And the time I got up the road, he was gone. Bloody hell! Just like that.
Weird old night that was, because it came up on the screen during Pete's and Dowell's game, and it said Eric Bristow's passed away, and I'm like, no, he ain't. He's in the back room. Let me go and get him. So I just 20 minutes before.
He walked into the car park, rolling a fag, and hit the deck, bang. But he always said to me, Bobo, no one's pushing me around in a wheelchair, and no one did. I said, Eric, you smoke too much and you drink like a fish. You just smoke and drink, and he had curries every night. That's what I want, he said. But no one's pushing me around doing what I want to do. And he done what he wanted to do, 60-year-old. But he lived 300 years, he did. He done what he wanted to do, and that's it. It's a waste of life, we think, but he's the sort of guy who wouldn't have cared. He just done what he wanted to do, and he paid for it. But no one pushed him around in a wheelchair. He was right there.
He'll always be the biggest name for me, I think, in darts. He'll always be the biggest name. Whether he's obviously the best player, but I still think he's the biggest name.
Well, he was one of. Well, I think I'm not knocking Eric. I mean, Lowe, he was. I think, but Lowe was a good dart player. Lowe, he was very strong and good standard. And then you got Alan Glazier, you got Alan Evans, you got Leighton Rees, you got Lowe, Tony Sontag. There's a lot of dart players that are good in my time. Not just Eric didn't win everything. He didn't win everything. I beat Eric quite a lot of times. He beat me when it counted, I suppose. But there's a lot of good dart players then. There is now, and that's difficult. But you can't be a great dart player if you don't win much. You've got to be on that television all the time. And we were on the television all the time. That's the difference. That's young William. The first time he enjoyed it on the telly, got to get it all the time so people recognise your face. Footballers, you got loads of footballers running around. Dart players, only two of you, so they can recognise you. And when you get recognised, then you put yourself to put together proper darts, talk properly, don't act an idiot. Then the sponsors are coming. Think he's a good boy. He's put himself out and he talks nice, and they use you. That's what you got to do. Television is the window to the world. You can make it or break it. Break the window or open the window.
Are you listening, Willie? That's where the big money is.
Hey?
Right? Are you listening, Willie? That's where the big money is.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm taking it all in.
You got to think. You got to think. Do it properly, Will. Where there's a will, there's a way. Remember that.
There you go.
Get that on your back.
Listen, guys, it's been over an hour. I want to thank you all for coming on. It's absolutely yes. I want to thank you all for giving up an hour of your time and joining me and the people that have tuned in and listening to stories from Bobby and Ian and Willie looking like a surprise fan that's won a competition. It's been fantastic.
I just like everyone that's watching, may the dance be with you. Be lucky.
Yes, and you. Well, thanks a lot, and we'll try and get some new guests on, some more guests on for next week. Willie, Bobby, Ian, thank you for your hour, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.